paradise. Damn, man. 1st of May 26. Oh. I'll just go on a walk this Saturday, or this Friday actually, before the day starts. And the thought of me that I wanted to speak about this video was that when I was 13 years old, literally 13, I was a child, I'm still a child, but 13, you're not mature yet, to say it like that. I came across this bald guy screaming and telling about everybody in the most convictionless way how to live life. You need to work hard, provide, and stuff like that. And the advice I followed, which I'm glad I did actually, because I wouldn't be the person I am right now if I didn't. But it was the advice of, you need to train hard every single day. You need to never skip a day. And that's pretty good advice for most people. But when you're 13 years old, you're not truly developed, and yeah, it's just not a good idea to put that pressure on your body 7 times a week. Now, I ended up not doing it 7 times, I did it 6 times, but I did it as hard as I possibly could those 6 times, because another advice he said, and by the way, this is not to blame Tate, but it's to just, I guess, tell you the learning I've had to go through. But yeah, I train hard for like 6 times a week, 6 days a week, multiple times a day. And that got me injured. I did several sports. I did football, handball, swimming, ended up joining boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. But by the time I was like 15, start of 14 years old, but especially at 15, and I feel that now I'm still at 16, my body ached. I had so many injuries, and when I started to just recover from one injury, another one just came up. I remember the first one I major had was, I also did what Goggin said. I went like a jog every other day just to be disciplined, but my shins didn't like that, so yeah, we got a like shin splint out there. When the shin splint was, that made I couldn't play any football or handball. But once that was gone, my hamstring started to tear up. And after the hamstring, I remember my quad and my ankles, and everything just kind of compounded in a negative way. And even now, I don't. I said it in the previous video, but my current is a back injury. This was not from training too hard. This was from a stupid incident of driving a snowboard. But yeah, even now, my body is not made of doing athletic movements. I'm pretty explosive, I'm a pretty big guy, and I'm pretty like strong. But I'm not. I could easily get an injury if I train too hard. And I think that training actually at your hardest is one of the best feelings in the world, and that's why I did it for as long as I did it. It wasn't just discipline, but it was also the feeling of training hard. It makes you feel amazing. Of course, there's other factors as well. The method you train on, you should have like a kind of split on how percentile of how you train each and every day. You should never give your all like 110%. The majority of times you can do it. Sometimes, you know, if you have a competition going up or you want to really test yourself, but you need to make sure that you take a rest. And you also, one of the biggest things is to train in a more controlled way. Maybe 60% one time, maybe just like going on a walk as I am right now. That could be a training session for a day. You just feel nature. That's my recommendations about that. I really wanted to just build that athletic body, but getting constantly injured, it's so demotivating. It's so uninspiring that you don't want to actually do it. But yeah, it's a matter of when if you're at the position where you have injury, when you're back, just start slow as hell. You're gonna have so much energy and so much like motivation to just train so hard when you're back from the injury. But it takes so long. If you have a serious injury, it takes longer than expected to get back from it. So you need to start slow and you need to progressively overload it. And this takes time. Like you should rather be too careful than to go too hard. Right. I remember I tore up my hamstring and I did like single leg RDLs, for the people who know. And first of all, I couldn't even do one rep with no weight. That's how fucked it was. When I started stretching, started to do like dynamic exercises, and it started with like the 5 or the 3 kgs and something, and build it up. And I remember before I stretched it, was able. This wasn't single leg, it was double leg, where I was able to take like 80 kilos for like 8 reps or something. But you have to go back. So I remember I did like 10 kilos for 2 months or something before I overloaded it. And I'm so fucking glad I did, because my hamstrings are so strong now. And if you, on top of that, supplement it with training mobility, then you're gonna get a mobile body. But you have to do that across every of your body part, every part of your body. I would say for me, this does not mean it implements for you, but it could. Focus on training your ankles, your knees, your back, your lower back especially, your hips, and generally your mobility, your shoulders as well. And that's irregardless of what type of physical activity you do. Those parts, and you need to train your muscles around those parts. You need to train your back, like all the muscles in your back, your legs, your quads, your shins, your calves, everything. So yeah, but it's a lot of ways you can find this out. I'm a perfect experience or a perfect example of what not to do if you have injury, or if you especially don't want to have injury. But my advice as an injured person would or as a currently injured person, it's just to train your body and don't give it your all. It's not discipline, it's just stupidness.